I really hope that I wouldn't have to make this video after months, but even after Simba asked for community feedback regarding this matter, there was still no response or action from Ubisoft up to this day. This is dire. Really dire. Yes, this video is about the ridiculous price increase and changes made to broadcasts and megaphones last 2023. Broadcasts are widely known for self-promotion, whether it be for shops, games, or giveaways, or some miscellaneous promotion, but it's also commonly misused by wrongdoers for casinos, hacks, malicious sites, and discriminatory remarks. But on September 7th, 2023, Ubisoft decided to make the biggest change to Growtopia's broadcast system. Prices were multiplied by not only twice or thrice the previous price, but 20 times the previous price. Here's a table of broadcast prices before and after. Non-supporters normally had to pay twice the amount as the super supporters and 1.5 times for regular supporters. So, for non-supporters, regular broadcasts from previously 600 gems now cost 12,000 gems. Crazy, isn't it? On top of that, megaphones were removed from the Grow token store, and Locke's megaphones were also removed from Locke and the Locke bot. Therefore, if you want to broadcast, you either have to spend millions of gems to thousands of players who are possibly bots, or buy megaphones via in-app purchase now. Or choose to spend 3 diamond locks from another player. Before I elaborate anything, here's my stance. I think this is the worst unexplained change they've ever made. I fucking hate it. Personally, I don't spend gems for broadcasts, but many others find it ridiculous that you have to spend millions of gems to super broadcast. How many will it even reach? Half the player base that is assumed to be bots? 99% of the player base who don't even spend broadcasts? A mere 50 players who enter your world with tens of them being spammers? I'd understand if it's inflation control. They've done it in the past. During the system's update in 2016, they increased all broadcast prices by 1.5 times. During Valentine's in 2017, they doubled all broadcast prices. During Valentine's again in 2018, custom and super broadcast prices were increased from 1,000 gems to every 600 players, or 1 gem to 1.66 players in calculation, to a fixed price of 1 gem to 1 player. And lastly, during Winterfest in 2020, they established the price difference between non-supporters, regular supporters, and super supporters. Even Megaphone World Lock prices in Locke's stores were increased from 10 to 20 to 25 and finally to 30, until it was replaced by Locke's Megaphones. But this recent change was not it. But let's talk about Locke's Megaphones. Why was it even introduced in the first place? What made it so different from Megaphones? Locke's Megaphone was introduced in Player Appreciation Week 2021 to combat one thing: the misuse of broadcasts. Unlike a megaphone, Locke's Megaphone required Advanced Account Protection or AAP so that unverified bots wouldn't be able to easily purchase megaphones for world locks and use it for malicious deeds. This was by far Growtopia's biggest positive change with regards to broadcasts. But did it work as it was intended? Not really. But one thing was certain: it was a heavily effective world lock sync. Players would often visit Lockybot worlds very often and purchase Locky megaphones from it. It costed 30 world locks, and who knows just how much was removed from the economy on a daily basis. Its effect on the economy was certainly not felt, as inflation continued to worsen during the past 3 years. I mean, if you can remember the entire duplication fiasco, that really sinked in. But looking at all the anti-hyperinflation solutions to slow it down, this was certainly the best world lock sync mechanism out there. Until it was removed. What the hell? Ubisoft. Ubisoft removed the best permanent world lock sync in-game. But in turn, they ramped up efforts to boost and add more world lock sync mechanisms across the game. Grow for Good, Winterfest Bingo, and the UB Week Scavenger Hunt are the most notable ones. However, even in the highly competitive events like Grow for Good, where everyone has to sync literally thousands of deals to claim the top 20 rainbow title, there's one problem with these syncs. They last for a limited time, literally just 1 week. In comparison with Locke's Megaphones that last forever with constant demands from all classes, there is an incentive to use it because everyone needed it. But despite this, some players believe this change to be beneficial. The mitigation of malicious broadcasts, discriminatory remarks, SB wars, and other illegal misuse of the broadcast system. Well, I suppose that never worked. But hey, I recently asked some people if they noticed if the casino broadcasts went down. And they did say that it had really gone down. That's actually good, I guess.
Before the price adjustment, some affluent players would use SBs for trivial purposes, like hi, or searching for a girlfriend or boyfriend for a friend. Additionally, some would send SBs simply to share emojis, which the moderators couldn't do much about it because it was allowed in the game.
Huh? Is this really a problem now? I don't think it's ever an issue on how broadcasts are used, and limiting super broadcasts is actually counterproductive. Nowadays, players resort to other social applications like Discord to promote their worlds and other matters, shunned away by the current state of the game. Just as Alid had said, it is already a bad sign when the game is so antisocial that one needs an unofficial third party just to be able to let people know about the world. One cannot effectively advertise anything in Growtopia, as there are specific mechanics to inhibit this. Royal locks, botting, and even billboards, which even makes broadcasts absolutely more necessary. Discord is a neat alternative, but it is bad when it has become a literal extension of it. It leaves out the rest of the minority who are expecting people to be trading in actual worlds. It leaves out the minority who struggle to use Discord at all. But hey, at the end of the day, we have no choice, right? Because fuck the system. So yeah, the entire community went on a massive uproar, and as this was happening, former CM Simba made an attempt to create feedback from the community. But even with this, 9 months later, no change or response has been made. What a disappointment. What could have been done? Firstly, 20 times as a multiplier for price increase is extreme. Their intent was to clearly put a hard restriction on super broadcasts. While it works to a degree, it can be lower. Striking the balance matters. Secondly, bring back Locke Megaphones. While there are players who argue that it is the easiest route for broadcast misuse, at the end of the day, it's still beneficial for the economy. It could be increased to a diamond lock more or less, so that there's not a shortage of megaphones that's literally only obtainable via money means. And there are plenty of ways to resolve the misuse problem. There's a reason why it was designed the way it was for regular players. All it takes is really a strong moderation force to tackle wrongdoers down. It is always bad when the players have to sacrifice gameplay and pay the price for the actions of illegal players. It's never good and never will be. Ever.